Hey everyone, thanks for making time for this talk. So to briefly talk about our journey as a company in open source, from contributing to projects to creating projects. And my name is Vishal. I'm CTO for Enlighten Technologies. I'm one of the contributors to Fission project. It's a serverless project on Kubernetes. And I also run the Kubernetes Pune community meetup almost every month. Talk about Kubernetes and the rest of cloud native technologies. Now, coming to us, when we were born as a company, infrastructure technologies were getting, mature in the sense a lot of new, interesting, exciting stuff was happening. Chef and Puppet were the way to do infrastructure, not too long ago, right? Probably like 7, 8 years ago. And Docker was just born. It was super exciting time. Everybody was super pumped about Docker. And we were born as a company almost at the same time, using all these technologies, for implementation, for our own purposes and things like that, right? And I was betting my full bets on Mesos to be the next orchestrator on top of containers. And I never thought Kubernetes will become the dominant orchestrator for container technologies. I was so wrong. So that's how technology works. It works in ways you didn't imagine, you didn't anticipate, so to speak. Right? Lucky for us, we worked with a few customers around Kubernetes, understood a little bit more of power of Kubernetes and the community and the open source movement around Kubernetes. I saw a very close and realized this could be the next potential orchestrator more than Mesos, so to speak, right? I also started the Pune Kubernetes community meetup around the same time, 2016 late sort of. First meetup that I ran, there were 1 people, including myself. And over time, we kept running the community meetup every month, sharing our knowledge, sharing whatever we were doing at work to the broader community, and got to a point where we had probably 50 odd people attending the month, over the years, basically. I think what that did to us as a company and to us as a group was, open source community, sharing your knowledge attracts like-minded folks, right? And over time, the kind of folks that we started interacting more and more with and came in touch more and more with, were from open source and communities, like Python Pune, Docker Pune. At one point, we had all the 3 organizers of all the 3 meetups, Python, Docker, and Kubernetes, working with us together, right? And I think that is one of the crucial points I want to say. Open source and relevant, but it is about community first. You need to build the right set of people with the right incentives and the right mindset of sharing what you are building and being open to that, vulnerability that whatever I can build, I can share outside, and not be concerned about how I'll be perceived, so to speak, right? And this is one of the most crucial points I would say in our journey as a company. We were able to bootstrap that community before we got to the point where we started building open source projects, so to speak. The other thing that I think helped us is we worked with a few commercial product companies to develop software for them. Part of it, commercial, obviously, and that gave us the chops or experience, for product development, right? And combined with problems that we saw with our other customers who were implementing these technologies, using these technologies, was a good combination. Product development on the other side, and knowing that on the third axis of the triangle, if I were to call it that way, that was a very sweet spot to understand what to build next, basically. So we started, of course, very small. One of the very early projects was a cube checker, and we didn't have enough either conviction or bandwidth, or both maybe potentially. We didn't take it up too seriously. We just left with a few initial working prototypes and kind of left it in between, right? And to our surprise, like almost 12 to 18 months later, one of the major large cloud providers actually picked up exact same idea, built a project out of that, right? But that's our learning or lesson out of that. If you haven't, go ahead and probably more thoroughly than you did otherwise. Now that created a culture, with those folks inside. We started doing hackathons, giving a very different name every time. So one of these hackathons that we did gave birth to a project called BotCube. Now, BotCube is an open source ChatOps platform, and all it does is you getting outputs. The matter most Over time, we were able to get good traction on the project because of PRs, contributions, issues, from the end users, from other users of the project, and so on and so forth.
So this will be presented or this will be presented?
Now, as we kept maturing as a company, when we were building, we realized if you have to integrate with Microsoft Teams, you need to have a SDK for C# and other languages. So one of was actually a bot, builder SDK Microsoft Teams, but we were also contributing to another project called Fission, which is, and understood those areas of problems very, very closely. When we got more and more complex stack onto Kubernetes, we realized there has to be something like home, right, onto Kubernetes, and that's where we came. It was not always that you had a giant or big idea that is open source. Sometimes it was something as simple as a Cassandra Jaeger tracing plugin, right? So Cassandra provides a utility to do tracing internally, or you can plug in your own by following the interface, right? And we had to do this for customer, the open source rate. Not a lot of people are using and generally finding useful. So I think that was another lesson that we had as a company. It's okay to start small. It's okay to start small to small. Cortex, Thanos, and rest of the components was not easy. For building a project called Trias, and the open source state, we are still working on it, pretty actively. Other two projects that we helped to commercialize, one open source that capable bare metal, instance zero trust for thousands of clusters. After the and we as we thought about the beginning. So we kind of that project and we said let it be out there. If somebody wants to pick it up or use it, that project. PRs that would be useful. So we kept at the documentation, yes, all that was absolutely. And over time, we got a YouTube shop. So it was like a VC background. The other two projects, which is Fission and Trias, are still active, being used by users and community. Like recently, we came to know Fission is being used by a large CPG company for doing their machine learning model management, something that we didn't know in production like for almost 3 years. And Trias still remains active, as a developer. Also was a lot of open source inspired. For example, all the revenue numbers of the company are public to the entire company. For example, a lot of times there might be a problem which might be getting across multiple people, form a group almost voluntarily, pick up the problem, they go after it, get whatever is required and solve those problems, right? So I think a lot of those community first aspects also reflected in us as a company when we operate as a company. Yeah, I think that's a brief journey I want to talk about of us, as a company, from contributing to open source, to being very actively developing projects. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Really short but very informative presentation. We'll be talking about his own company and product Bagisto. HTML is that side.
Yeah, I guess that side, I guess.
This is
Is it happening or not?
just get outside. We have to change the projector.
Mirror display, mirror. It's not happening. Is it working or not?
Not coming. Put it again.
Can you put it again? Yeah, it's coming, I guess. Something is coming. Wait. Hello? Okay. I can manage from here, I guess. My name is Saurav Pathak. Standing here, I would definitely want to say that I am really feeling a kind of a very deja vu experience here. I'll tell you why. I was back here in Bengaluru in 2019 at a India Force conference. It was at that time when we have started Bagisto. And I was there speaking on Bagisto, on the roadmaps, the things that we're doing, the plans that we have and everything, okay? And today is the day, like 2022, where I'm standing here and I'm going to share our success story, like what all things that we did in the past 4 years and how we grown over the past 4 years. And my topics will be, it's very much, I will drill down very much simply on how you can exactly start an open source project, how you can go global, how you can attract the community, and everything on that. So I think it will be very much useful for any person who is looking to start this open source project and to grow it worldwide. So again, my name is Saurav Pathak. I am one of the co-founding member of Bagisto, working as a Chief Product Officer. I have a good experience of before working on Bagisto on fintech and product information management and helpless and booking solution. And yes, after doing college, I was a part of like a 2-failed startup as well. However, I don't think that it was like very much negative for me. I definitely learned a lot while starting them with my friends, and that actually helped me in the initial phase of starting Bagisto. So at first, I'm going to start on the journey that how we actually started Bagisto. So I would like to point out 2 main events that happened in 2018 when we started Bagisto. So our parent company Webcool, which was founded in 2010, has been working for past 10 years in like e-commerce domain, and they have been working on almost 22 open source projects which are basically on e-commerce. Now working on all those open source projects, we get to know the pros and cons from the merchants, from the customers who are using those open source projects. Now, there's one gap that we identified from the developers who are graduating from college, like basically they learn programming language which are based on OOPS concept, okay, but they cannot directly go and build a platform at that time on e-commerce, because at that time the platforms like Magento are there and Odoo are there, but you have to learn their framework in order to work on that framework. But there is no direct platform on which you can directly work while graduating from college. Now, there's one language that we identified as Laravel, and then there's a Symfony, which you can say are very much platform specific. So we identified that there's a gap of an e-commerce platform which was driven by a platform specific. Like if you know Laravel, you can just go on and develop your own e-commerce platform. That's the first gap that we identified. Second gap we identified was the Laravel. Laravel at that time in 2018 was the most popular PHP framework even today till now. But at that time the gap was that there was no good e-commerce system built on Laravel which developers can use. So at that time, if anyone who knows Laravel, they want to build e-commerce, they need to build from scratch. So these are the two gaps that we identified at that time, and that actually leads like to begin the Bagisto project. Now I'm going to tell you like why we decide to make it open source. So the very first thing is, like, there are many reasons why you should make a project open source, but whatever the things I'm going to discuss here is basically my opinion and the main points that why we did that. So the very first thing is the diverse collaboration. Obviously, like when you make a project of open source, you get more eyes onto the project, and the more eyes, it means that you get to know about the issues, you get to know about the enhancement, with the audience. So that's the very first thing that we get with making the project open source. Second thing was our company's basic roots. So as I told you, like our parent company Webcool was founded in 2010, and the very basic root of a foundation of that company was laid on open source project. Like initially our founders Mr. Vipin Sahu and Vinay Yadav, they started making projects on Joomla, were like open source CMS, then they shifted to Magento, then Odoo, then there are so many frameworks. So they have been continuously working on open source projects. So by that I can tell open source has really given us a lot. So it was in the back of our mind that we need to give back to the community which has given to us a lot in the past 10 years. So I think these are the basic two you can say events that we identified and that led to like founding Bagisto and making it as an open source project, not as a like any paid system. Now I'm going to talk about the early stage growth of Bagisto, like what we did in the early stages. First thing that we identified with the open source is that, and which you all know, you have been like, a lot of speakers have been telling you a lot, it's all about the community. Just and you win the war of open source, okay? So I think building the community was the very first approach you can say that we have at the very first time. So what we did is that we reach out to the community, we go to company, we give demo of our platforms, we go to meetups, we go to conferences, we like you can say we have like built forums, Facebook groups. So whatever the channel that we can make by which our community can reach to us, that was the very first thing that we did. So anyone who is sitting here or anyone in the world, if they want to connect with Bagisto, they have all the mediums, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Slack, everything that we have, okay? So that was the very first thing that we did, is to open all the channels for support. Second was the thing that we know that in order to get more eyes, in order to like get the business out of it, we need to come on top of SERP rankings. So I'll tell you like one small strategy that we applied. Since Bagisto is a Laravel based commerce system, so we identified that it has to come on a keyword Laravel e-commerce on the SERP rankings on top, okay? So because that was the like most common search keyword at that time, which was having a very high traffic. So what we did is that we optimized our contents, our Bagisto content and marketing contents on that particular keyword, so we can come on top. And even if right now you will search on Laravel e-commerce keyword, Bagisto is still there to be on top 2 on the rankings. So that has been the very first strategy that Bagisto is like top on past 3 years on the very same keyword Laravel e-commerce. Open all doors that I told you about, that we open all the doors of support to our community, so community can easily reach to us via any medium. Then continuous development, fast release. So that was the one thing that we identified after doing 2 or 3 releases, that the releases were taking a lot of time. There were so many issues which are there on GitHub and they were not getting solved, or even if they're getting solved, they are not getting merged in the project. So what we did is that we defined a timeline that in every month we are going to make 2. So by that we are going to even solve the issues, we are going to merge the pull requests, and we are going to give the community the enhanced release so they can make use of and update their older versions of Bagisto. So that is the one thing that we also followed. Second, support. Support at the time of start, we have kept it free, and even it is free till now. It means that you are a developer, you are a merchant, you have issue with Bagisto, you want to understand Bagisto, you want to get demo of Bagisto, you need to have any kind of support. It's totally free. So we are not charging anything from our merchants or developers to get support. They can come onto our channels, they can come onto our ticket and forum, and the support is given for free. So that actually helps the community to have a perspective in the back of the mind that if I have any issue, Bagisto guys are there for me. Now I'm going to explain on some of the strategies that helped us in going global all over the world, not just being localized in Delhi, NCR or India. The very first thing that we did is that once we find out that we are getting some pull requests from different country, we identified few persons who were making constant pull requests or even submitting issues on the Bagisto GitHub repository. We connected with them on LinkedIn, Twitter. We asked them about the experience of using Bagisto. So they tell them, okay, it's pretty good and fine. So what we did is that we appointed different ambassadors in different countries. From the countries from where we are getting a lot of traffic, you can say, a lot of pull requests or issues, okay. So we have, even right now, we have ambassadors in Belgium, we have in South America, we have in Central Asia. So these are the ambassadors who actually helped us in organizing meetups in their country, and also creating groups and creating plugins for the people who are living there. So that is the one thing that we did, is the appointing ambassadors in the country to spread the word in their country. Second thing that we did is the region-based development. So it's not like we are in India, so whatever the plugins that we are going to make, that is very much specific to India only. What we did is that the people or ambassadors that we appointed in different country, we used to have in 10 days or 15 days a call, okay. We understand the economy and the business which are going there in the country, okay. So we started making a region-based plugin in different, suppose in South America, Corios is the popular shipping platform, or we can say in Europe, Pay.nl is a popular payment gateway platform. So we started making plugins which are actually popular in different countries. So people who are living there, who want to start their business of e-commerce using Bagisto, they can have those plugins and start their business. 30 events and roadshows. The ambassadors, even us, we have been doing a lot of events and roadshows in different countries, not by going, but the people who are there, or the ambassadors we are appointed. They make a group, they organize events, we send some goodies there, okay, and this is how the Bagisto word was spread up in different countries by the people living there. Sponsoring hackathons. So yeah, this is the least I think we can do for a community, because community takes a lot of effort in building that, and that is the one thing we did that we keep sponsoring the events which are happening in different country, okay, either by sending goodies or by giving a talk or by sending a speaker there. So this is all in sponsoring hackathons and meetups that we did in the early stages. And this is a very good thing that we did in the partnerships. I'll tell you what we did. When we published the dev docs, we invited developers to come and build plugins for Bagisto. Now, once they have built plugins, we give them 3 steps of partnership. The very first thing that we did is that we told them, if you are going to build a plugin of Bagisto, we are going to list it for free on the Bagisto marketplace. That's the first thing. Second thing is that we are going to promote your plugins with our customers for free and even help you in selling your extension. Third thing is that whenever we, on behalf of our developers, we sell any of their plugins to their customer, we charge a 0% commission on that. So that was a pretty innovative partnership that our developers got, our merchants got. So this is how, right now on the Bagisto, we have more than 100 plus extension. 30% of them have party. And this is all because of this partnership model, that they know that if they build a plugin, we are the ones that are going to help them, not only in promoting, but only in selling, and not going to charge any sort of commission on that. Now, Bagisto, as of now, it's completely bootstrap. We'll tell you like why we did it bootstrap, okay? Now this this thought may vary with a lot of people here, but it's just my thought, or like the founder's thought, or the, you can see the team's perspective, that why we are taking it bootstrap till now. The very first is that we don't want to create any kind of trust deficit with the community. Usually what happens is that whenever a community find out that this open source is like backed by VC fund, they get a kind of mindset that in order to run that thing, they have to keep, show some kind of balance sheet. Now, in order to show some kind of balance sheet, they have to come with a paid kind of model. So that actually we don't want to create any kind of like misconception with the community that Bagisto is free and will always be free. So that is one thought process behind that we have kept it bootstrapped till now, and we even echo that voice that Bagisto is free and always will be free. Second thing is the ethos mindset. It's not that we have not been approached by any VC. We have been approached by VC, but personally speaking, I have talked with the VCs, and there are some like mindset that we did not match with the VCs. Okay, like they tell that we need some kind of this thing. You have to go to SaaS. You have to build something from where you can generate revenue. But we tell them that community is something a big thing for us. We are not going to we have been working in that model as a free model, a freemium model. Okay, so we are going to continue with that. We don't have plans to, even right now, to make a paid kind of a thing. So that is kind of like, you can say, a mindset we did not match at the start while talking with some VCs. Now, this is one thing, with the VCs also, we have a thought process that we do not want to start Bagisto, run it for 10 years and take an exit out of that, okay? We have started this thing and we are planning to continue for the next 100 years so people can make use of it. Now, Bagisto is, if what Bagisto actually means for me, the community is the mirror image of Bagisto. Community is everything for us. We do a lot of talks, we support our community in every other way. And I think if I'm standing here right now, it's all because of the Bagisto community that has supported us from the past 4 years in helping us in building the plugins, in optimizing the platform and everything. Community really forms the backbone of Bagisto, because whatever the community that we have built in the past 4 years in different, working for the developers, working for the merchants in different countries, they are the one who are actually supporting us in giving the ideas what to build and what not to build. Even right now, whatever the development that we do, it's not like it's very much focused to us only. Whenever we do in development, we sometimes do poll with the community, we are going to, suppose we are going to start making a CRM platform or a CMS platform or any kind of a thing. We discuss with the community first of all, we take a poll, we take a vote, and then we start building that feature or building that, you can say, platform. And this is the community-oriented developments. So whatever the community proposes to us, that's the thing that we do. It's not like we just do by ourselves only. And then we do monthly roundups with the community on discussing about the projects, on discussing about the events, on discussing about the changes that is happening in their country and the laws. And then we make Bagisto as per their laws, whatever the community suggests to us, in making the Bagisto compatible with the laws of their country. Now, all the process in starting an open source project, there are security concerns as well. You get so many pull requests, there are issues as well. So I'll just define how we handle the security concerns even right now and the starting steps also. The very first thing is that we have developed test cases on Bagisto. So it's not like you just create a pull request. Whenever you create a pull request, that actually go through a step of unit testing, and then only it becomes, you can say, available for the pull request or being merged. Launch. Second thing is that once your pull request is qualified, it's being monitored with the maintainers. Now, it's not like we are the only maintainers. There are people from different countries to whom we have given the maintainer permission on GitHub. They are also the one who keep overviewing the PR and once they overview only, then only it get merged with the develop branch or master branch, you can say. Second thing is that depend about alerts. So obviously, like for any open source project, it's not like everything we are doing like by themselves, by ourselves. There are many third-party library also which we are making use of. So we are making use of depend about alerts. So we can get alerts of any library which has been outdated, a new version has been come, so we can update our project as per their library. Now, I'm going to share my learnings from the past 4 years, whatever we did, whatever strategy that we have followed, and what we've been doing till now, and that I think we are going to continue in that process only. The very first thing in the community as a family. If you're going to start an open source project, take your community with you. If you're going to take your community with themselves, they are going to take your open source to the world. So behave like, you can say like, take your community as a family, and once you take care of community, community will take care of you. Second thing is that content is the king. Now with Bagisto, I can proudly say that throughout all these years, we have been growing organically. There is no inorganic process like we have like spend amount in like a lot in marketing or like Google ads or anything. A lot of things we have done organically, and content is something which we have focused a lot. So content marketing was something which even we are focusing till now as well, like writing good contents, the contents which are actually, you can say, regarded in different region, and then we are publishing the contents and promoting that on our just social media, and people are just following that. Third thing, support is the key. You need to be there for the community. If community is approaching to you, you need to make sure that you are available for the community. And it's not just like they have come to you and you give a SLA of 24 to 48 hours, because if you give a SLA at the start, they will just go. So what we did is that we maintain a very fast response time at the start, that whatever the people coming to on a live chat, on Slack, on Discord, there are people who are actually helping them 24/7. So whenever anyone is coming on Bagisto on the support channel, they know or 10 minutes you are going to get a response on your issue. This is a very good thing for me, okay, and I can tell that if you are looking for motivation for open source projects, like suppose you started the open source project and you think that it's not growing pretty well and you are feeling demotivated, these are the small things that actually keep us motivated. A single star on GitHub, a single review on Trustpilot, or a download count which is increasing every day. These are the small things that are actually helping us to keeping motivated, and we know that whatever the pull requests that are going to come every day, we know that somewhere down the line, somewhere people are working there on Bagisto and spending their precious time to contribute to Bagisto. At the start, it's not just when we, like even right now, when the project has grown a lot, there are people coming from diverse areas, from small enterprise to medium enterprise to big enterprise. Now, it's not like we had an option, like the company does have an option that they don't want to, work with small companies having small budget. They want to work with big companies. We don't actually have an option, okay? So what we did is that we invited all the companies. We are currently working with small companies, even we are working with freelancers as well, and a lot of startups as well, who are actually looking to start their e-commerce project. Contributor recognition, that is also the one thing that we did to recognize our contributors. So when we send them, whenever we get a good pull request for some issues, we send them goodies, we promote them on our social handle. So by this they feel like some kind of recognized on the platform, and then they work more on doing more pull requests on the platform, and then suggesting also what good you can do with the platform or what feature you can work next. This is one thing that we did is that, suppose for example, even till now it happens is that people come to us and they tell us that we want to build something, we are using Bagisto and we want to develop this feature, okay? Now suppose that's a huge feature that is going to cost a lot, and suppose we think that is actually not falling into our budget. So we have partners, what we do is that we pass on the leads to our partners, okay? We don't charge anything till right now in passing a lead to a partner, okay? So our main idea was that either we work or our partner works. We need to keep the platform intact, that is Bagisto. So it's not a matter of if we are going to accept the project or we are going to reject the project. If we are not going to work on that, we are going to pass on the partner. We are going to customer remain on Bagisto only. Now, why open source, like so many people are working on open source. For us, it's more about the technological sovereignty of India. The very first thing is that creating a strong developer base. Like the more people get involved in the open source, the more and more developers get like involved in the culture. Now you can just go know that India is the third largest contributor on GitHub, and I think few weeks back GitHub launched their site GitHub India, where they have showcased that India is currently on the second position right now. So I think it's not very long time that so many people are getting involved in the open source, and India is going to be the very first place on the developer count. Second thing is that creating a independent technology power. You see that there are so many, like in the COVID session, like the platforms which are created by the particular country, they are being monetized by the country. Now, this is the one thing more that why we are doing things as open source, so that we can create a strong independent technology power, so India can consume the technology that has actually created out of India. Third is the open source approach. See, it's for India to build something only for the Indians, okay? India has to follow the open source approach. India has to make a software for the world, so the world can consume the software of India, and they can say that India is a truly open source nation. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can just ask me.
Okay, there are two things. One is, how does the contributor timeline looks like? So, sometimes what happens that a contributor comes, he just submits one plugin, and then finally he's done, and he's no more contributing, which is a general thing. And second question is like, how do you see the future of this? Are you going for an exchange, or it is just going to be community based? Because it will be very expensive for you to maintain it as a company. So how do you bring this amount and revenue, make all this thing happen? Because it requires a lot of resources.
Thank you. So see, the very first thing that you asked is the contributor timeline. So we look at the contributors majorly who are submitting pull requests, okay? In that we see, it's not like, see, even on GitHub you can just delete a space, you can submit a pull request, right? So that's not like a very big contribution, okay? We identify the pull requests that are actually like, it's a good thing for Bagisto, that is actually optimizing Bagisto, okay? We connect with those contributors on GitHub, okay? Like most of the contributors are in touch with us, right? And those are the contributors we focus majorly on, because they are the ones which are actually creating a difference by submitting a big pull request, okay? So we are in connect with them. They are the one who are actually acting as an ambassador of Bagisto in their country, because they are the one who know Bagisto very well in the country, okay? So those are the ones which we took more care of. We connect with them, and we make sure that it's not like we force them to contribute. I think once you recognize someone on social media, because it's the era of recognition, okay, they themselves contribute to your platform. So we don't need to keep a check on that. Even if they're not contributing, they are they are creating a group of Bagisto there, they are organizing meetups and events there. So that's also a kind of a contribution which you can say for the project. Second thing is that about the revenue. Now see, there are many revenue model. We are following a basic revenue model that every open source is following, that is a licensing based system, that came with, okay? So we are building plugins, okay? There are many plugins which are free for Bagisto, but there are some plugins which are, they are paid, not more, like $10, $50 like that, okay? So we are just giving a license, but it's not like a normal license. We tell them that once you purchase the plugin, you get the full source code, so you can totally customize it and use it as per your own, okay? And then there are, like body shopping services, like if anyone comes, they ask us for customization, okay? They tell us that we are building our commerce on Bagisto, we need some customization. So we also help in that, okay? And then there are support and everything. So I think this is something which every open source is following as a revenue model, and that is the same thing that we are also doing in that way. Thank you. Any more questions? Anyone? Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Saurav. So we have our next speaker. We will be sharing about in building this open source APM.